Welcome to one more edition of Politics and Right. I'm Egberto, Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. Of course, I cut the entry off a little bit too early, but we are kind of running a little bit behind. How are my peeps doing? Welcome aboard, Bridge MCP from Binghamton, New York. Eric Hayes from Kingwood, Texas. Of course, Lee Grant from Montgomery County. Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain. And of course, Michael Rudnin from Brooklyn, New York. How are my peeps doing today? I know we're all doing fine. It's crazy day, crazy day. Why is it so crazy? I mean, think about this, folks. When would you have ever thought? When would you have ever thought? I'm going to play this more than once inside here because I thought it was crazy, cray. Think about if a Democrat did this. Think about if somebody went ahead and did something like this. Let me present to you the President of the United States. This is our President of the United States. Let's take a look at this. Well, where are you? Where are you? There you go.
Your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. You all know what they are. We've had a lot of fun with them. It's called the America First Collection. 50 all new stunning digital trading cards. It's really something. These cards show me dancing and even me holding some Bitcoins. We are announcing the launch of Trump coins, a true symbol of American greatness. Trump coins are designed by me and minted right here in the USA. I've seen a lot of coins out there using my very beautiful face. I'm a very beautiful guy. I'm only kidding. But they are not the official coin. RealTrumpCoins.com is the only place to get an official Trump coin. I'm here to introduce something really special. I think you're going to love it. My new Trump watches. We're doing quite a number with watches, and the quality to me is very important. The Trump Victory Tourbillon. This isn't just any watch. It's one of the best watches made. Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
I want to ask all the folks that are supporting this guy, what is this? Are you proud of that? Are you proud of a president using our airwaves, using our campaign season to simply swindle monies out of the people that are gullible enough to listen to him over and over again? Don't that embarrass you? Doesn't that embarrass you? I mean, I saw that this morning as Joe was putting it together, and the first thing I could think about is, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. You know, I mean, the funny thing about it, Brij, as you say, he needs money. I mean, look, he needs money, but, you know, he has people that are giving him money left and right. Every time you see those trucks that are going around, running around in the rural areas and even some parts of Kingwood or whatever with those big Trump flags and all of that, who do you think's making all that money from all over the country? 33% of the country are his cult members. And all he does is suck nickel and dime out of them continuously. Isn't that embarrassing? Isn't that embarrassing as we have problems in the country? His wife is on Fox News talking about groceries are high and all of that as she tries to hawk her new line, expensive line at that. And that people don't see this. It's just quite amazing. I'm going to play it again later on when we get a few more people on to remind people what this is all about. You know, it is simply astounding that we see this. But anyhow, I want to start us off with in immigration, right? Today's Immigration Day. Kamala Harris is at the border. I want you to listen. There are two people that I interviewed at Netroots Nation that's apropos right now for these two interviews. But it's deeper than that. The second interview that I'm going to play today is by a woman called Guerline Jozef. She's a Haitian. Guerline Jozef her organization is also, she's a director of the organization, Bridge Alliance, Haitian Bridge Alliance. Her organization, of which she's a director, is suing Donald Trump's campaign and Donald Trump for what they've done in Springfield, Ohio. I interviewed her for a pretty good interview in Baltimore a couple of months ago, and I want you to listen to that. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get her on again to see how the suit that she's placed on Donald Trump right now, I think they placed a suit a few days ago, how that is going. But before I go into Guerline, I want to go ahead and have you listen to Brenda Rodriguez, because she was she has a lot to say. So let's go ahead and listen to Brenda Rodriguez, and then we'll take it from there. Welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto, Willies, your host. Today we have a special guest, Brenda Rodriguez Lopez, Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network. Welcome to Politics Done Right, Brenda. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get started, tell me a little bit about yourself along with your organization.
I am an undocumented from Mexico. I came to the United States at the age of 9 to reunite with my family. I crossed the border. I was with a group of people. We ran out of food. We ran out of water. So I'm sitting here with you today as a result of the love and care of my community. I have been in this country now for 21 years. Have lived in Washington State, specifically in East and Central Washington for 21 years. And I have the honor to be one of the executive directors for the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network, which is a statewide network of over 400 organizations organizing undocumented immigrants and refugees to advance our rights, to protect one another. And what we really do, the bread and butter, is deportation defense and rapid response. So we mobilize our communities when immigration enforcement, ICE, is knocking at our door. And we organize a multilingual, multi-faith, multi-ethnic, multiracial coalition of organizations. And I do this work because it's deeply personal. And growing up in rural Washington, I got to experience firsthand the lack of resources, the lack of infrastructure. So I started organizing as an undocumented youth to fight deportation defense cases and to create opportunities for undocumented youth that wanted to go to higher education. And it is through that work that I met WISEN in 2016 when organizations came together to build a unified movement because we knew that we were going to be under attack and under a very xenophobic, racist, unapologetic administration in 2016. And so that's why I started to organize with this network. And that same year that I started in 2018, my hometown of Basin City, where I grew up, was raided, and over 10 community members were arrested and detained on their way to work, who were the friends of my parents, who were the parents of the children that I went to school. And so WISEN, we organized to mount pressure at the local jails to get our families released. We bonded people out of detention, and within 72 hours, we had organized to get 9 out of the 10 people released from detention. One of them being a person that was with me through the journey coming to the U.S., who cared for me, who gave me the little bit of food, the little bit of water.
As you travel across.
Yes, and he was detained on his way to work, and so he was one of the people that we mobilized.
Did he get deported, or you were able to save him?
He's in our communities. He's back with his family. So a full circle moment, right, and a reminder of why I do this work.
Now let me ask you something, because
Did I understand you right that what you did was made a coalition of all these different groups that are working for the deported, for the undocumented workers, etc.? So what you did is got all of these together? That is great. Now the next question, however, is, as an undocumented, first of all, at 9 years old, did you even know what undocumented mean?
No.
When did you find out that there was a problem?
I grew up, I was raised by my grandparents. My dad would come and go from the US, and so I knew that he would go somewhere in the world to work so that my siblings and I could have a better life.
In Mexico?
In Mexico, right? So I knew he was in the US, and he would send money, and the goal was for all of us to be together one day. At the age of 9, I made that courageous decision to come and reunite with my family, not understanding what that.
When you said you made that courageous decision, did you come with a family member across, or you just had an older person that was with you to come across?
I came with other family.
Okay.
I made that courageous decision to join the family.
And your mother was left behind in Mexico, or?
My family, the rest of my family was already here.
Oh, they were already
here. So I
here.
was the last person in my immediate family.
Now, is your entire family undocumented, or just? And did you? I imagine you fell under the Dreamers Act, so that's one of the reasons that you can actually be present.
Yes, I am a DACA recipient for the program Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. I was in high school when the program became available after immigrant youth organized for years and mounted pressure to President Obama. So I'm one of the recipients, and through that work I have been able to dream, really.
That's why they called it the Dreamer.
The Dreamer, right? To dream and to go to a university, to be able to do this work, to be able to, in many ways, be more unapologetic, right?
Well, I mean, I'm originally from Panama. I'm Central American, right? I came here. I am a naturalized American citizen now. I feel no restriction, there's no apologizing for me being in America, especially given the country's history, and no one should ever feel that they have some apology to give when we know that is the undocumented workers, etc., are partially the lifeblood of our society. And the only reasons that we have issues with it is because it is financially advantageous to create a degree of fear within a group of people that ensures that they don't get the quality of life that will cost the employers more, etc. So those are things that don't have to be told to me, but that, however, needs to be told to the America in the aggregate. Let our workers stop for a week and see what happens in this country.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that is why WISN exists, to not only organize the immigrant justice movement, right?
But to educate.
Through organizations, the labor movement, because we are a multi-issue, multi-faith network, and we're also organizing queer, trans, undocumented immigrant refugees, folks like my parents, right? To know what their rights are, to know how to advocate for themselves. I know I always had a voice, right? I was never voiceless. I knew what I needed to be well, to thrive. I needed an opportunity and I needed a platform. So as WISN, we are politicizing our community so that they can be the speakers, the ambassadors of their own liberation.
Exactly.
And so we convene our immigrant justice movement, and we organize undocumented immigrants at a statewide level.
Absolutely. Well, look, first of all, it is great to see a young person like yourself take the bull by the horn fearlessly and actually do the work. And I think, first of all, how can people help this organization give more, what is the word that I want to use? Exposure to this organization. How can they do that?
Yes. Well, the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network, we are based in Washington State. So there's a couple things that people can do. One is to follow us on social media and stay connected to our work. That is this place where we share information, resources, we share when there's a raid in the community, help us amplify the work that we're doing. We also have a Verified Bond Fund, which is the only community-sourced bond fund in the Pacific Northwest that is bonding immigrants out of the detention centers, not just in Tacoma, where we have the Northwest Detention Center, but also across the country. Folks can go to our social media, can go to our website. If folks are able and willing to, they should be, I would encourage folks to donate, as 100% of the money goes into bonding people out. And I would also ask our movement and the rest of the people that are listening that immigration is at the intersection of every issue, right?
Yes.
Environmental justice is an immigration issue.
Yes.
LGBTQ liberation is an immigration issue. So as we are coming to spaces like this, like Netroots, as we are convening as movements, as we are strategizing, we need to be very intentional of that and be aware that there are active forces that are trying to pivot us against each other. And so being intentional of not negotiating immigrants out of those conversations. And so folks can stay connected to us through our social media, Facebook, Instagram, all social media platforms. And for folks that are in Washington, I invite you all to also reach out as we are actively building community groups that will be ready to mobilize.
But you are national, correct?
We are statewide.
You're statewide, but do you collaborate with other
Absolutely.
states? That's what's important, because we will be seen all over the country. So, Brenda, it's been my honor to speak to you, and thank you for the work that you're doing, and you keep pushing on.
Thank you.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.
Welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Today we have a special guest.
Absolutely join, folks. Absolutely join. It kind of ran away from me a bit. But yeah, let me go ahead. Breach has an item that she wanted me to put on the screen. Let me go ahead and find that really quickly. Here we go. Let me put that on the screen and let me go ahead and read what it says. And it says as follows. Mitt Romney shreds Trump for killing the bipartisan border bill just to blame Biden. The fact that Trump told Republican senators and congresspeople that he doesn't want us to solve the border problem because he wants to blame Biden for it is really appalling. So again, I always said that the immigration issue where they want to make it a problem for Kamala Harris, she should immediately deflect the immigration issue right back to Donald Trump. She needs to re-inject that issue right back to Donald Trump. Who is at fault for this again? It is no one other than Donald J. Trump. Anyway, folks, let's see if I have any quick things to answer here before I go to the other video. Let me go ahead and do the other video, and then we'll come. Let's see, what time is it now? Let me do the other video, and then we'll be right back because this one is a 13-minute one. So let's go ahead and do that.
Welcome to another edition of Politics Done Right. Today, I am honored to speak with Guerline Jozef, who is with the Haitian Bridge Alliance, Black Immigrants Bail Fund, and the Cameroon Advocacy Network. Wait a minute.
Yes.
You're a busy woman.
I am, and I am a Black woman in America. I am a Black immigrant woman in America. And when we see what's happening and really trying to bridge the gap and bringing people together when it comes to immigration, human rights, and our humanity, so we have to be busy. We don't have the luxury to not be busy.
Now, let me tell you something, okay? Because this is what got me. I'm watching the immigration debate right now, and Haiti plays a part in this immigration debate. And the specific way in which Haiti plays it is that, unlike some immigrants from Europe, Haiti is being treated differently. What I'd like you to express and talk about, a lot of the issues that we have in Haiti, why we have a lot of displacement, why a lot of people are coming here, is actually because of U.S. policy, economic policy in Haiti.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Tell America why they should be careful in the way they express the immigration issue, because all it does is points a finger at bad policy. Exactly.
And what you said is literally at the heart of it all. Mm-hmm. And when we see Haiti, for example, has always been a receiving country. Right? Haiti has helped the Jews, you name it, we've done it. We've helped. That's what we are known for. But at the turn of the 1960s, 1970s, due to U.S. policies into Haiti, putting government in place in Haiti that was in the best interest of the U.S., started seeing the first real big wave of migration out of Haiti into the U.S. And then you started hearing of the boat people out of Haiti. And when we see under the presidency of Duvalier, we saw the first wave of Haitian migrant. What did the U.S. do? The U.S. created the modern immigration prison system right now by starting in Guantanamo Bay, putting Haitians there, and then move them into places like Guam, and then creating a whole industry around caging of Black people, specifically immigrants from Haiti. Now we are looking at today what's happening in Haiti, the new wave of immigrants from Haiti, and you can also trace it right back to U.S. foreign policy in Haiti. And when you talk about the economy, you saw how Clinton himself came and apologized for creating the economic downfall of the entire country because they had excess rice in Arkansas and they needed a place to dump it, and the dumping ground was Haiti, completely destroyed the rice industry, the rice farming industry, creating famine
and mass
displacement, creating what we continue to see today.
And that's what most don't know. You know, everybody likes to look at Haiti as a basket case. It is not. From the time Toussaint Louverture freed that country, it's been under attack. Both from having to pay for their own freedom to France, to many other issues. So I'm happy to have you here to talk about Haiti, because too often the narrative that we hear in the United States doesn't have the intellect behind it that points out that the problem. And farmers in Arkansas need to open their hearts and say, Haiti, thank you.
We are responsible for
your
happening.
Success.
Yes.
We are responsible that you had where to send your rice and have your rice paid for. So that was a transfer of wealth from Haiti to America, from Haiti to the South, from Haiti to Arkansas.
Yes.
So what you are looking at there is nothing more than what was created by United States policy. And previous to that, what was created by French policy. So continue explaining to us these different types of things that are creating what we're seeing today?
Yes. So we can go back to 120 years ago, understanding that Haiti is the second country in the Americas after the United States.
Right.
But Haiti is the only country that was created out of the Black revolt.
Exactly.
When you have people of different tribes in Africa, and what they were doing is that if you misbehave in the South, in North Carolina, in Virginia, you will be shipped to Haiti because that was where the harshest conditions were.
Right.
You misbehave in Jamaica, you misbehave in Panama, you misbehave wherever in the Americas, you end up being sent to Haiti to be corrected, to be fixed. But the mistake that they made was by bringing all the folks who are really freedom fighters into one place, we give birth to the new world.
Exactly.
We give birth to what we know today as what we see. And we say Haiti is the mother of the new world. And because of that, I want to bring us back to Frederick Douglass. When he was the first envoy from the U.S. to Haiti, when he came back and he during the World Fair and he was giving report back on his experience in Haiti and understand the relationship between Haiti and the United States and Haiti and the powers of the world, he said the world, i.e. the United States, will never forgive God himself for allowing Haiti to be Black.
And you know that what is so interesting about that, also there was always the fear in America that Haiti would be the template, the fear in Brazil that Haiti would be the template, the fear in Jamaica that Haiti would be the template.
And that is, and it was, and it continues to be.
Right.
And we also have to remember, even the South and Central America, Haiti was not only pivotal in the liberation of the entire continent, but Haiti provided the food, the arms, the money, the people, until Simon Bolivar.
Exactly.
When we are providing everything for you, but when you go with my support and liberate what became Gran Colombia, you have to make sure that the Black people are also freed. You don't have to repay Haiti anything other than really continue the fight for freedom of all people. So, as you mentioned, now you have Portugal completely, shook. That now we have Brazil, and Portugal was one of the biggest enslavers. And now you not only have the French that's fighting Haiti, you have Portugal, you have the British, you have the French, you have
the U.S. It was the entire Western world that needed to make sure that this revolt, because they wanted to maintain. And this is what's not, people talk about, they don't want to teach critical history, or they don't want to teach any of these things. And this is the reason why, because when the truth comes out, what really happened, normal, moral people with empathy understand that the only thing we're looking at was people looking for freedom, like what everybody else wants.
For freedom.
They're not asking for anything from anybody. They just want freedom to be able to have equal access to success. And that's what's important in this movement. It's important the work that you do with your head lifted high, that people understand nobody here is asking for a favor. Everybody just wants equal access to success. And when you have a group called the Haitian Bridge Alliance, the Black Immigrants Foundation, this is not about division. This is about bringing people together.
Yes, because in Haiti we say "un pile main chai palou," which means many hands lighten the load, right? Which means l'union fait la force, which means bringing ourselves together.
Exactly.
And the reality is Haiti continues to pay for all people.
Right.
The United States put a 60-year embargo on Haiti.
Yes.
And then they invaded Haiti.
Yes.
And then
More than once.
And when they did the first invasion, they took out everything that was left.
Well, I mean, that is...
And brought that into the U.S. and brought that
Yes.
into City Bank.
Yes.
City Bank, as we know today,
Yes.
was created and built by the Haitian money that the United States literally went into Haiti and took out.
It's the same thing that was done in Cuba. It's the same thing that was done in the Dominican Republic. We have to understand that the history that we learn here is only a partial history to the person who has been for so long the oppressor.
Yes.
And when that is, and you know, this is not to blame individual folks. This is just to say, this is what your corporatists, this is what your capitalists, this is what these people did.
Yes.
And what we're seeing coming across the border is only the natural result of policies that has occurred throughout time.
Yes, yes.
And when that is understood, we can actually have sensible policies.
Absolutely. And really centering that into the humanity, centering that into the false narrative of othering. And what you said is understand that our privilege that we have here is only because enslaved people decided no more.
Exactly.
Enslaved people said, you know what? I am a person. I do not belong to you.
Exactly.
And that create the ripple
friction
effect that we see today, that you and I can come into the front door and you and I can sit here as Black people, as immigrants in this United States of ours, to be able to speak on behalf and with this authority.
Because the truth is, the U.S. was built on the entire Western region. The bauxite from Jamaica, the plantains and the yuccas and the other minerals from Haiti, the copper from Panama.
Yes.
All of these are corporations extracting from these countries
and
with no recompense.
Here. Yes.
And it's done, and the riches come here.
Yes.
These are things, and it's not that the technology isn't there for all to use. So anyway, look, give me a closer, Miss Jozef.
I will say that in 2024, where we find ourselves, when it comes to immigration specifically, we have to understand the root causes of migration. We have to understand that immigration is a Black issue, is a social issue, is a racial issue. We must continue to push against the false narrative of what we are, who we are, and believing that we are stronger together. Whether my ancestors was in Haiti, in Panama, in the Dominican Republic, in Cuba, in Colombia, we are related to the ancestors of the people in the South, in Louisiana, in
North Carolina, the Gullah people.
The Gullah people. We were separated. And what I continue to do is call for a diaspora reunification.
Exactly.
Because we were separated doesn't mean we are no longer family. We just need to come back to ourselves.
Guerline Jozef, it's been so my pleasure to speak with you.
It's an honor.
Thank you so kindly
much.
For having been on Politics Done Right.
Thank you so much.
I so enjoyed speaking to that woman of intellect. Now she's suing President Trump, and I'll get her on again. I got to go find her card. I don't, I have to find, I have so many people that, sometimes I get all this stuff mixed up. But here's the deal. I want to address what Bridge said, because I want to tie, Bridge, what you said to not only Eric Hayes, but to Mike Cisak and to Lee Grant. And one thing you're going to notice is these are three conservative white guys. And I'm going to be very, very respectful in the way I say this. Remember what you gave us yesterday, Bridge. And you know what? I better play a piece of what you gave us yesterday, because it's important. I actually captured it into a standalone, and I should have included it in my prose today. But I hope Eric, Cisak, and Grant hear the way I want to express this. It's not an all white guy issue. It's a some white guy issue who is predisposed to be programmed by the right wing, who are using them just like they were used in the Bacon's Rebellion. So I want to play just a beginning of this piece here, and remember what this very smart woman had to say. And we are here to learn, folks. And nothing here is to disparage anybody. We're here to learn. Bridge brought up a subject saying that Eric doesn't have any space in his mind to really think and put other alternatives in there. It's not that. It's that he's been programmed to be fearful, and that fear is manifested just like this woman says. And then I'll stop it where I start.
Step back and think about humans in the wild. It's very rare that you would be feeling that level of fear and shame without good reason, like running away from saber-toothed tigers or whatever. So your brain says, all right, I'm feeling ashamed a lot. There must be a reason why, and it will find a way to justify the very emotions that are being used against you by pernicious algorithmic cycles. And those justifications are not trivial, right? They're like fundamental shifts in worldviews, fundamental shifts in sense of identity. Reversing those justifications and changes is very difficult. Even if you can, and you can change somebody's mind at a factual level, that initial emotional residue tends to stick around. That will be the thing that informs somebody's behavior, like which causes you advocate for, who you vote for. Like that will have much more of a bearing than all of the logical stuff.
That is so true, Bridge. And that's Bridge. That is the disease. That is the cancer that is affecting a whole lot of our, specifically white men, but also some black men that feel an inferiority complex because they feel a false sense of being left behind. Not that they're really left behind. A lot of it is of their own doing. It's the same thing that's happening in Springfield with a particular group, because you have the Haitians come over here. What I tell people all of the times is foreigners, immigrants that went through the rigor to make it over here, they are mobile. They are either rich in the country they're from, they're above the fray in the country, or they have that intrinsic strength. That strength that says, I can move forward. I am going to do it. And moving forward is coming. They see an opportunity in America, and they come to America by hook or crook because they know that they can actually get something accomplished here. It's no different than the people who settled America. They were the ones willing to come across the ocean in a ship that they weren't sure if they were going to live or die. They came to America. They did something special. They came to America. But the difference is in the morals, right? When they came, they showed that they could escape the bondage or the thing that they were in their country. They came to America, to the United States. And what they did then was not just to say, I'll take this piece of land that is empty and develop it, etc. They came and they conquered. They said, I'm going to take the entire the Louisiana Purchase. I'm going to move westward. I own it. I name it. I take it. That is what those settlers that came from Europe were all about. Yeah, they were also a cut above. A cut above doesn't mean morally good. A cut above just means you are willing to move forward no matter what. Those immigrants from Venezuela, Panama, Honduras, Jamaica, Haiti, and all these other places, they are a cut above in that they're willing to take the risk and take the chances to make it here. Okay, to make it somewhere. It's not only here they're coming. They're also, you have Cubans going to greener pastures in Jamaica. You have Cubans going to greener pastures in Brazil. You have Venezuelan going to better pastures in Ecuador. It's not only America that is actually taking the brunt of this migration, created much of it by American policy. But when you have elections devoid of honesty, devoid of morals, we can then get into the condition where that woman that Bridge MCP brought to us yesterday, she showed the carnality of the human mind, of some. And those are weak minds that need to strengthen themselves up to be able to take what Guerline Jozef just said, expressed. When you look at Haiti, understand what the problems are with Haiti from its inception. They went ahead and beat the crap out of France. And then in order for the rest of the Western world not to come down on them, they had to pay for their own freedom. But to show you the limitless, the thinking process, when you have somebody like Brother Grant say that, hey, Haiti, those Haitians committed genocide on the French. No, wait a minute. The French for decades, for centuries, were enslaving these people and they fought for their freedom. You didn't call it genocide when the people who came here enslaved and maimed and killed the natives and pretty much indentured servitude the Chinese. You see, again, the reason why the right does not want you to think critically is because we're all human. And everything that the Westerners did in America is something that other cultures would have done at some point in their history. It's not a white thing because white makes no sense. There's no white. It's just human. There are human characteristics that have to be improved, and socializing humanity has created better humans, period. When we created living in society, socialized, when we created society, we created dependency among each other. And having dependency amongst each other is something that protects us all. Because if we are all individuals, if we're all rugged individuals, we look out for number one. That's the problem I have with capitalism. Because it purports to preach rugged individualism. Rugged individualism means selfishness. Look out for me first. Society means social. We socialize. In socializing, we make ourselves dependent on each other. In our dependency on each other, we are not only more efficient, but we cannot hurt each other. Why? Because we depend on each other. We are a unit. We are a body. We are an organism. We are an organism of organisms. It is so hard for people to critically think on these issues so that we can actually get to it. Okay? Let's get smart, folks. Again, I sort of feel for those people that are locked into that way of thinking, that always trying to find a reason why their racism, a reason why their prejudice, a reason why their ill information is that way, it must be difficult living in that body. Like I told you yesterday, and I turned this into a rant as well. My most liberating feeling came when I gave up my prejudices, when I gave up my homophobia, when I gave up my sexism, because the freedom it gives you to just look at folks for what it is, it's amazing. But the morass that Mike Cisak, Lee Grant, and Eric Hayes live in, I really, 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 I feel I am empathetic towards you, and I kind of feel sorry that you have to have those feelings of fear within you. It is sad, but I am thankful that you're here, because I hope that as we plant seeds in your head, that at some point it'll get away from some of the Trumpian mentality and do something good into you. Anyway, another big lie that's out there is somehow Trump liked to say the economy was great under me. I had this wonderful and great economy. I tell you something. Morning Joe said something today that points out even Carter had a better economy than Donald Trump. We know Obama did. We know Biden did. But even Carter had a better economy than Donald Trump. But again, because of a lousy MSM, mainstream media, it is so difficult for us to, every time Donald Trump lies in this fashion, to correct him. Because we're so scared. The mainstream media is so scared that in correcting Donald Trump, they're going to scream Donald Trump is going to scream bias. And they are so fearful that a Republican is going to scream bias just for telling the truth. I want you to listen to this little piece. It's very short, and then we'll take it on the other side.
For most of those people you're talking to, they've made more money than they've ever made their life
because
over
the markets
past 4
have gone
years,
crazy,
and they've made it passively while they're watching their stocks go up. They
always get
most like
Democrats
tens of millions of dollars. It happens time and time again when Democrats are in the White House. The stock market goes up, and when Republicans are in the White House, most of the time there are recessions. You look at again, this is the thing, Sam, that used to drive me crazy, even when Trump was president. He kept saying, greatest economy of all time, greatest economy of all time. I think it probably was the New York Times that did a study, post-war presidents' GDP.
Right.
Donald Trump, pre-COVID, was number 7 behind Jimmy Carter. Yeah. But I would be watching MSNBC. I'm just using that as the most extreme example of the people that you would think would be least likely to repeat Donald Trump's propaganda. Yeah. And the questions would start, of course, we know this is the best economy ever, but. Yeah. And you sit there going, oh my God. Yeah. So propaganda has worked even in the mainstream media.
Well, he's very good.
Let me just say it again. 7th best GDP post-war.
And that's pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. Yeah. Before, even lower than Jimmy Carter.
And that is what's important. And that's why you need Politics Done Right and other rags that are out there telling the truth. Because Donald Trump said, I had the best economy, and people start to believe it. I created the COVID vaccine, even though he has to walk the line because he has a whole lot of anti-vax people. But you want to say he didn't. No, the vax came out. The vax have been the technology has been in there for decades, right? The reason why they don't want critical thinking is in having critical thinking, you critically think and you figure out all the hogwash these politicians are telling you. Egberto, if you're going to drop some MSNBC stuff, this one from Rachel Maddow is pretty good. How long is it, Bridge MCP? That is from Michael Rudnin. Let's see how long that is and see if I can actually get to that one. If that one is not too long. Oh, that's a long one, Mike. We don't have enough time to play that one, but I'll look at it and try to cut it a little bit later. All right, Egberto, the only way it will affect them is when it happens to them. Their electoral votes and VPOTOS had power to send those states' ballots back for research. You know what is so interesting, Bridge? They're all complaining. The thing about it is what makes their life worth living is what they get from the blue states, right? The blue states look at what I pointed out yesterday. A lot of rural areas in the red states don't have internet or don't have good internet. And what did the Biden administration give them? $40-something billion to build out internet throughout the rural area, just like they did with the electrification and TVA and all these things back during the another great Democratic president, which was FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And this is why the people that it helped are the MAGA folks, because those are the poorest. Those are the ones that have the least education, not because of who they are, but because they have elected lousy leaders that don't care about them. And they continue to elect these guys. And these guys just bring them down and down and down and down. And here come the blue states to the rescue. All the liberals have to come to rescue the stupidity that you find in these politicians. And I'm using stupidity for the politicians, not for my brothers and sisters that are Republicans living under their command. So let's be clear, folks. Let's be clear. What Morning Joe just said, Joe Scarborough just said, is a statement of fact. And the good thing about what we say, these are all things that are verifiable, that they're quantifiable and easily seen. You can look it up. You don't have to go to the right-wing sites for them to cook data for you. You can look it up. Paul Fleming says a combo meal at McDonald's is more expensive than Truth Social. Oh boy. All right. Let's see what else we got here. I just want to read again. Israel continue with its bellicose. I don't know who watched Netanyahu at the UN. Netanyahu at the UN all but slapped around Joe Biden. And unfortunately, Kamala Harris can't do anything about it. That's not how political systems work. She cannot go up and against Biden. She can't come out and say her policy is going to be X, Y, and Z. And she can't even tell Netanyahu in the background, this is going to be my policy when I get into office. And the reason she can't do that is because Netanyahu, a responsible punk, will come out there and say, you'll go to AIPAC and say she plans to cut us off if she gets into power. Okay? We have to be pragmatic. We got to be practical. We got to be smart. Michael Rudden says, internet for all, broadband for all. It's not just about everyone getting internet access. Anyone can get a dial-up or satellite package, but those are typically inefficient for things like HD video streaming, and that puts rural people at a disadvantage. Biden-Harris aids to fix that, even if they're conservative. Look, most of the infrastructure bill is going to red states. Think about that. Most of the infrastructure bill is going to red state. And why is that? Because they're the most deficient. So you have to bring them up to par. And, and these are things that you can't go ahead and hide. Look at the water system in Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, it is pathetic. These people don't love their people. They have their gated communities where they have their own filtration system for the few. They have all these little things for the few. But for the masses in their states, who the hell cares? They don't care. And then when you have sycophants like our brothers in this chat that continues to give these guys legs, it's sad. And like I said, I love my MAGA brothers here, but I honestly feel a level of pity that they have allowed their mind to be so used and misinformed. But hey, keep on coming. We'll keep talking, and we are hoping that you'll be enlightened over time. But anyway, we got to continue this, and folks, we do need your support. And how can you do that, my brothers and my sisters? You can support the program in many, many, many ways. And what I'm going to do right now is tell you how to support the program. You can first of all, let me just say, I need some patrons to help. We have this thing called patrons, right? If you become a patron, there are a lot of offers. You can read my books, all that good stuff. And how do you become a patron? I'm going to give you several links today. How can you become a patron? You become a patron by going to politicsdoneright.com/patron. That's one way to support us. Another way to support us is to go ahead and buy some of our books. And let me put our books on the screen right now, different books that I have. Again, these are books that you can learn a lot from. I promise you that. politicsdoneright.com/books. You can learn about, and it's easy to understand. First one, it's worth it. How to talk to your right-wing relative friends and neighbors. That book, I guarantee you'll be very well educated with that book. Tribulations of an Afro-Latino Caribbean Man, my story and why I'm doing what I'm doing, etc. Additionally, as I see it, Class Warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom. You'll learn a lot about the economy. How to Make America Utopia, take away the economy from those who rigged it. So folks, please consider going to politicsdoneright.com/books and pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, all of my books. Again, you'll be helping. I only make a little bit on the books, but you still be helping us move forward. Patreon, you can support us on a sustaining basis. All the different ways in which you can support the program can be found at politicsdoneright.com/support. politicsdoneright.com/support. But if you really want to help us really extend the message, etc., what you can do, what I'm asking you to do, is to become subscribers of our Substack, our newsletter. And the newsletter is called Egberto Off the Record. Egberto Off the Record. What I'm asking is that you become a subscriber of Egberto Off the Record. And what do you get for that? Let me first put that onto the screen. As a subscriber to Egberto Off the, and by the way, to subscribe to Egberto Off the Record, you just have to go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Please consider becoming a supporter by becoming a paid member. And what do you get? If you click on that, you get to read all these books that I just showed you that you can go to politicsdoneright.com/books to purchase. You can also read it directly online here at Substack. As I see it, class warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom. How to make America utopia, take away the economy from those who rigged it. It's worth it. How to talk to your right-wing relative friends and neighbors. Tribulations of an Afro-Latino Caribbean man. Racism didn't stop my smile, hope, or journey forward. Or you can get you get a chance to read all of these books. Again, just go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. And what does it look like? When you click on the book, again, it is protected behind a firewall, but when you click on the book, once you're a paid subscriber, this is what you get, all the chapters of the book. And you can read it at your convenience. You can read it all of the times. That is how we move forward. We always ask, why is the right so successful in selling bad policy? Because they have the money to do what they've done to, let's say, our good friend Eric Hayes, Mike Cisak, and Lee Grant. But we need to have enough. We need to also be able to do what I'm doing and to generate a whole lot of others doing what I'm doing. And that is to go out there and tell the truth, enhance the message, tell the message, let it be known. I write books. I write blogs every day. I send out several newsletters every day with new statements. I write articles for newspapers. I do all of that simply to make sure that our message doesn't get left behind as the liars continue to fill the space with lies and bad information. That's all I do. 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what I'm asking for is to support the mission. And you support the mission by going to politicsdoneright.com. You can start by going to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter and becoming a paid subscriber. So if you're listening to this right now, whether in podcasts or live, I'm asking you once again to go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, become a paid subscriber, and you get access to all of my books. So you do get something. And all my subsequent books, all the subsequent books that I write, you will be able to read it as well. So it's something you're supporting what we do here, and at the same time you get a little something. Anyway, got to get out of here. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.